welcome to Dynamite Delight, a show that was interesting and tasteful. This is the third time I've tried this. The last two times I messed up because I started wanting to laugh at what I want to say, but I think I got it under control. If I start laughing because I'm coming near that part I want to talk about, that will be the tasteful part. I'm sorry. Now, was this show a good show? It was not bad. It does give you some things that many people want. They want storytelling. Now, is it great storytelling? No. Most of it is okay storytelling. For others, it'll be considered great storytelling. Do we have good matches here? Yes, we got some very good matches. Not everyone is going to be fond of some of the antiquities of not selling enough. But you can find something generally on this show that you can say, by 60%, I was fine with. Now, Dash Hardwood versus CM Punk. Now, CM Punk is finally back. They are in Texas, so the Texas fans were cheering for him. And this was interesting because I believe the last person who wrestled between the FTR separately was Wheeler. I believe Wheeler was the last one. I don't think it was Dash Hardwood before that, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. It's been quite a while, several months easily. You know both FTR members are very good at wrestling. They're very good old school 80 to nearly 90s wrestlers. Yes, they throw in a little bit of high aerial on and off, but they are basically what you see back in the 80s. Guys, if you love 80s golden age wrestling, these are the only guys that are there that generally act like golden age wrestlers at least 80% of the time. 20%, they're still going to do the high flying. They're still going to do the spot fest by 20%. But the remaining 80 is old school wrestling. And you saw it in this match because of the psychology of the match. You got two wrestlers, very good, generally old school wrestlers. Yes, CM Punk is part of the, well, let me get you like this. CM Punk is half of the 90s and mostly 90s wrestling. And he's the 2000s of like ROH. You got two of them stuck together. That's what you got with CM Punk. What you got with Dash Hardwood is 20%, not 50%. Because CM Punk is like 50% of old school wrestling, and the other 50% is the ROH style of wrestling. So seeing Dash Hardwood, who is more old school 80% compared to a 50% of CM Punk, is a very interesting dynamic. The crowd actually was fond of it. They enjoyed it. And you wonder, is FTR faces now? Because of what happened with MJF later, I will get to it. But FTR is acting more like faces now, particularly after they got rid of Sully and what happened with the Gun Club later, and I'll talk about in a minute when I talk about their interview. But this match was mostly constructed very well. You had the Anaconda Vice used multiple times, and you also had the Sharpshooter used at least once. It was well built. In the end, I didn't expect CM Punk to lose here. But you do set up, well, what do we really get when it comes to the interview with Dash and with Wheeler, dealing with Gun Club? Because Gun Club was staring at them at ringside, and they were acting up. And pretty much, Dash said it clearly. Look, you damn pups. And that's what he generally says. Just because your daddy is Billy Gunn does not mean you won or gained your position, your cred. We earned it. Whether we are liked or not. And we have done some mess in the past. We ain't lying about it. But he made it very clear as he said it. We may not be liked 100% of what we've done before. We've done some underhanded crap. We can't say that we're not one of the best or the best tag team wrestlers there are in AEW. And you pups got no knowledge. You're not even given anything. I'm just going to call you the Gun Kids or whatever. Or Billy's Kids. You haven't earned nothing from us. But you're going to learn a lesson because next week, we're coming. That's what that was done. And at least when it comes to Wheeler and Hardwood, they are helping a younger talents. They are helping Austin and Colton to get over more because we don't see them much on Dynamite TV. Maybe Rampage a couple of times. And definitely going to see them on Dark and Elevation. But you rarely see them on Dynamite now. And seeing that they're going to do something with a younger talent is pretty good. Now, the 8-man tornado tag with the Hardys, with Sting, with Darby Allin, and the Andrade family office, Butcher, Blade, and Private Party. Now, I want to say this before we get to what I saw. This is what I want, okay? You guys can tell me if you agree with this or not. You have a Darby Allin who, in my humble perspective, still feels like a McFoley reborn. Yes, he's a smaller guy, but he acts more like McFoley than he acts like Sting or like Jeff Hardy. But he's going to be compared to Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy is Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy takes a lot of inspiration from Sting, which is the same as Darby Allin, and I'm sure Darby got it also from Jeff, who got it from Sting. That's the reason why everyone compares them. In this situation, when it comes to these two, there's two things I want. One, sooner or later, they're going to team these two up together. And I do believe that should be at a pay-per-view when they finally are teamed together. Two, if they're never going to do that, I need to see Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy at a pay-per-view. Not a Dynamite or random Dynamite or storyline on Dynamite. They really need to make this mean something. A pillar of AEW versus a heavily established, well over and well loved Jeff Hardy at a pay-per-view. It doesn't mean you have to turn Jeff Hardy heel or Darby Allin. You just got to get it done. That's what I'm saying. Now, was the match good? Yes. At one point, you got the Butcher throwing Darby Allin down some steps in the arena because there was no need to get in the ring unless you want to pin the person. That's the only time you need to get in the ring. So they were beating each other up. Sting jumps off the top turnbuckle, takes out Private Party as well as the Blade. But the Butcher went up into the stands. Well, let me see. Jeff Hardy went up in the stands with Blade, and that was after the layout by Sting. Butcher was up in the stands with Darby Allin. Eventually, Darby Allin gets ping-ponged by one wall to another and then throw down the steps. I believe I got a shot of it. It's in my face. This is not the first time he's done this. I think it's the third time now, second or third time. I get a little worried because if it's not done correctly as he's rolling down those steps, because it is very dangerous, that he could easily break his neck going down there, even though he's doing it in a way that is generally safe, it is still amazingly dangerous. But that is the style that a Darby Allin has. Like a McFoley. McFoley used to run and fall down the steps. McFoley used to land on concrete. This is the reason why I say he's a McFoley reborn. He is the next coming of McFoley. No matter what you say about him being like Sting or being like Jeff Hardy, he literally is a McFoley. He should be McFoley's son. McFoley should come in and moniker him as Darby McFoley or Darby Foley, or just say that this person I adopt into my family, he is the second coming. Let him be the new version of me. That's what he should be. In the end, the faces won, which I'm not surprised. There's no way the Andrade family office is going to win this. Particularly, Andrade was not in the match anyway. Now, we had a match between the Destroyers. I think I'm just going to call them the Destroyers of Moxley and Bryan Danielson versus the Varsity Blondes. They annihilated them. And then something interesting where they're trying to build something up. Where you see, I believe her name is, I forgot, it's been a while since I've seen Lisa Hart, I believe her name is. I think her name is Lisa Hart of the Varsity Blondes. I haven't seen her in so long, I forgot her name. But seeing her at ringside with an eye patch still over her eye, that means they still want to try and build her into something. The question is, when are they going to have her go over to the House of Black? Sooner or later it's going to happen. Something has to happen because they can't just leave it. They can't just leave it. They got to do something with her. Now, was the match fine? It was all right. The Varsity Blondes were annihilated. And the only thing that redeemed, well, I know a lot of people are not going to care about it because it was annihilation of Varsity Blondes unless you like the Varsity Blondes and Brian Pillman Jr. along with, I always forget his name, Garrison. There you go. Garrison. Unless you really like them, you're not going to be happy seeing them destroyed the way they were. But this was about making sure that Mox could say what he needed to say. Now, here's a problem with Jon Moxley when it comes to his promo segments. that I noticed. It's not about how he says it. It's about the way he's moving around while saying it. Because this is Jon Moxley. He's just full of energy. And when you see Jon Moxley moving around constantly, almost stepping all over William Regal where he had to move back, the problem with Jon Moxley that I see is not how he's delivering his promo, is that sometimes Jon Moxley must slow down and allow the crowd to see him in one place. Because the more he runs back and forth across the ring, and that just shows you that he's a nut. But sometimes it gets lost in translation for him to constantly keep going back and forth. It shows that he's not always focused on what he's trying to say. Now, mind you, he says what he needs to say. But the focus of what I'm talking about is his emotion of how he says it. He needs to control himself and focus on the camera. Because the more he wanders over the place, he goes out of focus of the camera. And sometimes that can annoy someone. For me personally, I'm fine with it. But I can notice that he's so full of energy, so excited, now especially after he's cleaned himself up, that he's such a ball of energy, he can't stay in one place long enough to deliver his promos and focus on the camera like me to really give the fans at home a strong feeling. Now, it doesn't mean he doesn't. It's just it could be more focused. That's just me. Bryan Danielson didn't say anything, or a William Regal, but he puts over Regal, said there's only one person you respect, that's him. He puts over Bryan Danielson, saying the only other person that he sees himself, that understands and has earned the mark of the Liverpool Club, as he called it, the Black Liverpool Club of William Regal, was Bryan Danielson, the perfect wrestler. And he's the perfect sadistic wrestler. Now, he said simply, if anybody, and I mean anybody, think that they can be with us, they gotta have to show that they love being the most sadistic people, the most violent people, the most destructive people. That is the only way you can join the Liverpool Club, as I'm calling it. Was it good? Yes, but I did say that he needed to calm down. He was way too full of energy and could barely stay in frame of the camera. That's the reason why I always say, if you never listened to what I've been saying on Impact Wrestling, you don't want a promo like this. You want one like this. In case of what he was doing, moving around, at least you can just keep him in frame, which he was difficult to keep in frame. I'm just saying. Now, Adam Cole versus Jay Lethal, who I do really care about. I do like Jay Lethal. I do still wish he went back to Impact Wrestling, but he's not there. He is in AEW TV. Was this a good match? Yes. I found it to be even a better match than Hardwood and CM Punk, because these guys, it wasn't that they were doing a lot of high flying. It was way even more psychology than there. Now, was there a lot of selling? No. Neither one of them wanted to sell to each other very much. At one point, Jay Lethal wanted to do the figure four on Adam Cole so badly, he had to try 3 separate occasions where Adam Cole just stopped him until he finally got it. Now, he would have won if Adam Cole's buddies of the Red Dragon hadn't distracted the ref and he got a nut shot, and that is a Jay Lethal, a very nice nut shot. It hurt, but it was done well. And the promo afterward was made very simple. I want that title. Adam Cole deserves that title as Adam Cole. When it comes to Adam Hangman Page, you cheated me, I won't stop until I get it, and no one's going to stop me. If you actually got the guts and balls come out here, which he did, he took off his belt, which made sense. You got 3-on-1 because he was told, why don't you come out here and face me and try to beat us, which he did. He took off his belt. I kind of wish he took it off at the entrance going down the ramp where the Titantron entrance and exit. I do wish he had taken off his belt there, not just let them, and that's Adam Cole and his buddies, just, why would they let him take off his belt in the ring when he would have been got his ass whooped before he even got a chance to take it off? He should have took it off at the ramp and then walked over to them with the damn thing in his hand and then was ready to fight. Yeah, they would have seen it, but at least he would have had an edge if they tried, and then he can whoop their ass with it. Which, I gotta say, JR made it sound good. In the end, Jurassic Express, along with the Jungle Boy, the Luchasaurus, who should be by himself, Luchasaurus' money, and the Christian Cage, who actually, why not have Christian Cage work with a Jungle Boy Jack Perry? Put Christian Cage in the place of Luchasaurus and let Luchasaurus be by himself for a little while and let him be a singles competitor. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But that's just me. The match that was the weakest, Leah Hirsch versus Red Velvet. Now, mind you, I don't mean weak because of the match quality. It was fine match quality. I like Leah Hirsch. She is a sawed-off female version of a Wolverine. That's what she is. She's a sawed-off, sexy little piece of ass that is Wolverine. There you go. That's what she is. Is she gorgeous? She's damn good-looking. Is she short and stout? Yes, she is. She's not built any different than the last girlfriend I had, which was quite a long time ago. If the girl that I'm talking about was watching this, which she isn't, But the point is, when you see this match, there's one glaring weakness. It wasn't that Chris Statlander was not at ringside because she was barred. It was that, where are the other women? I'm not talking about Penelope Forbes. I'm not talking about the Bunny. I'm not talking about Anna Jade. Where are the other women that's on AEW TV? I'm not talking about Selena Deeps. I'm not talking about Hiro Kushida. There's got to be someone that's on Elevation or Dark that you can throw on Dynamite or at least Rampage that we can see that's new. We have so few women that are, yes, they're mostly built. Yes. But dude, come on. There should be more than just Mercedes Martinez. It wasn't a bad match. It was fine. Leah Hirsch did what she had to do to win. Statlander tried to take her head off. And now eventually we're going to have Statlander versus Leah Hirsch maybe at the pay-per-view. Which makes sense. You want to put over Statlander, do it at a pay-per-view. If you want to put over Leah Hirsch, do it at a pay-per-view. I'm just saying. Now, before we get to the last match, let's go through all the segments. Shall we? 1. I've already talked about what happened with FTR, so sooner or later we're going to deal with the Gun Club with them. MJF segment. Was it good? Yeah, it was good. You see MJF making very clear Warlow explaining about the life that he had before he made him relevant, paying for his mama, paying for him, and making him a relevant little piece of Piggy. Now, if you don't understand what I'm saying, he called him nothing but a big piggy. A little piggy, actually, not a big one. A little piggy, because he is just a pig because he gave him everything he needed, but he wanted more. And he told him clearly, I wasn't lying to you. If you won that match, I would let you keep the TNT title, but you couldn't get it done with Scorpio Sky. But the point is, you're asking me to release you from your damn contract? What the fuck is wrong with you? That's what he was generally getting at. What do you think? I'm going to let you get away from me? You dealt with the devil. You got a contract with me. You ain't getting out of it. He makes it very clear that I own you. There ain't nothing you can do except break the contract and get sued. That's the one thing that Warlow didn't say anything. And that MJF didn't say anything either. Because if he had said, oh, you want to really piss me off to try and break the contract? Go ahead and I'll sue you. But they didn't go there, of course. They normally don't. That's not something always done in wrestling. They don't say that if you want to break your contract, go ahead and I'll sue you. It's very rare to go there. But Warlow comes out where there's security at ringside. He wipes out most of them, but he gets grabbed and he's being held. And I believe I got a shot of it in my face. But MJF makes it very clear. You are going home. I'm sending you home. You're going to go home after this because you have no rights. I own you. I've hired you, not Tony Khan. That's what he's basically getting at. You will go home and you will stay home until I tell you to come back. And in fact, I think I'm not going to tell you to come back because I'm going to leave you off TV so long, you will become exactly as I found you, irrelevant. And he demands him to leave, and he has no choice but to leave because he's outnumbered and he can't get to MJF. This is where things are going to be very interesting. Now, I know I'm skipping over to CM Punk and him saying we're eventually going to meet again. And that was something I was worried about. I won't cover anything over that. I'm just saying that was what I was worried about, but he addressed it. But here's where it's going to be interesting. When you see this situation with Warlow, the only way this is going to work is that at the pay-per-view that's coming up, Warlow's contract to be broken must be the stipulation, because there's no way they're going to keep this up as long as he's on the contract. Yeah, they can have him attack MJF, attack Shawn Spears, even FTR, who is a question, as I said earlier. Are they heels now, or are they about to turn face and break away from the Pinnacle? Because MJF said that the Pinnacle is still with him. It's only a matter of time before we find out if they're going to break away or not, and it's just going to be Shawn Spears and MJF. But the point here I'm getting, which could be a little bit of foreshadowing. Sorry, guys. I got crooked teeth. I talk messed up because I'm dyslexic. So it all comes out in a slur. But the point is, the stipulation must be the contract. If they don't go there, it makes no sense to continue with Warlow and MJF. The contract is ironclad, as he said it. You made a deal with the devil. He made sure it's ironclad. So as long as he falls within the criteria of it, he's never going to break it. He could go crazy and beat the crap out of MJF, but as long as the contract isn't broken in a way that has been written differently, he's stuck. So they have to make the stipulation that if MJF faces Warlow, that if MJF loses, the contract is broken, and Warlow can get a contract with All Elite Wrestling. I'm just saying. Next. No, not yet. Best friends. Let's go to Wheeler. And I want to get to the Ty Conchi and Sammy Guevara so badly. I gotta stay calm. Best Friends has a segment. Wheeler Yuta, he is not happy. Well, generally speaking, it's not that he's not happy with Best Friends. He's just not happy with Trent, because Trent is not happy with him. He doesn't like him, and he doesn't like him back. That is what this is all about. Trent never liked Wheeler Yuta, and Wheeler Yuta is not too fond of Trent either, because Trent said, everybody else likes you and brought you in while I've been gone, but I've never liked you. They let you stay on their couch, and they trained you, and you wanted to go and join the Black Liverpool gang? I'm just saying it. Where's your loyalty? And he says, well, I don't like you either. I'm trying to be the best professional wrestler, not being the best friend. So it's coming to a head that Wheeler Yuta is going to face a Trent. The question is going to be, how are they going to book this? Is Wheeler Yuta going to turn heel? Will Trent turn heel? Because Trent has always shown some level of arrogance. So Wheeler Yuta might not turn heel, and he may just go to the Liverpool gang. I don't know what they're going to call themselves. But clearly, one of them might turn heel. I just don't know who yet. Oh, this is the one I'm waiting for before the, you know what? Let's do the final match before I do this one, because I like that one better. Okay, Garcia and Chris Jericho of the JAS, the Jericho Appreciation Society, versus Dark Order and Johnny Hungy and Reynolds. And if I believe I got the shot is in my face, you got to see these guys together. And that is John Silver with Chris Jericho 18 years before, when he was still young. Interesting, isn't it? That Chris Jericho has affected everything in wrestling so much that wrestlers are appearing out of nowhere that he's inspired or was helping to inspire. Now, was the match good? Yeah. I gotta say this about Chris. As the Tony Schiavone said, he looks good. He has gotten himself back in shape. He had a dad bod. Like, look, I can't get in shape because of my hip. So if I ever want to have abs, whatever abs I have, I probably will never get any more than that. Because I just can't get my leg to work properly, so I can never get my body in good shape. But the point is, he did. He let himself go a little bit, and then he worked his ass off to get himself back in shape, which I commend him. Is he faster in the ring? No. He's still about the same speed, but he does look fitter. So his stamina looks better. He's stronger, but he just doesn't have agility anymore like he used to. His agility used to be like here, and this is dead. There's barely any agility left. He's about here. His agility is dropped by half. Let's be honest. Chris is still good in the ring. He's still strong. He looks now good for it. Good. His body is in better shape, but his agility just isn't there anymore. He's maybe half the speed he used to be. And when it came to the commentary team stating it, and that was JR, I kind of wish he hadn't done that, because we already know that Chris just is not fast anymore in the ring like he used to be. He used to be real fast. He's been cut in half. And then seeing John Silver being faster than him, saying a much more quicker John Silver actually caught up with Chris Jericho. I kind of wish he hadn't done that. So was the match all right? Yes, you got interference from outside from both sides. Well, you got interference from the JAS, even though 5 and 10 of Dark Order didn't do anything, because Chris tricked the Audrey Edwards thinking that they hurt him, but he didn't get hurt, and they were ejected. In the end, he won. I'm not surprised. They got to win because he's trying to get the faction over as a heel faction, but there's still one glaring weakness. And no matter how hard they tried when they got into the ring, and that's the JAS, even with the guy, I can't remember his name of 2.0. I can't remember that guy's name yet. But eventually I'll remember his name, Mr. Squarehead, as Chris called him, trying to say, Chris is giving me the right to sing that song. I don't want you to have that song. You don't deserve it. The problem is, they don't deserve it. We don't deserve to hear Judas anymore. Chris may be allowing you to hear it. Does not mean it should be heard. He's got to stop using Judas, because the fans are giving off mixed signals like a John Cena. Guys, I'm sorry. They're giving off a John Cena vibe. It may not be a big one, but it's like that, which is kind of going what they're going as sports entertainers. But the point is, you cannot do it too much. You're going to have to figure out how to do it, unless Chris is actually going for a John Cena vibe, where, yes, he's a heel, but he wants people to cheer him at the same time, which could work. But honestly, being a sports entertainer, he should be a flat-out heel, playing no music or playing something that's not going to be liked compared to what it is now. I'm just saying. Finally, the Sammy Guevara and the Tai Conchi segment. You kiss... I don't know how to even describe this. Let me go through it. Tai Conchi had a moment along with Sammy Guevara. Sammy clearly said, as a face here, that, yeah, I lost a TNT title, but you know what? It's okay. I'm fine with it. I'm fine that I lost it, and I will figure a way to get it back. But the key of this situation is, I'm not going to stop being who I am. And I know people say, dude, you need to change your style because your bump card is going to get full. And he says, you know what? If my card is getting full, I'm willing to wait and continue doing it until the wheels fall off the damn car, because that's the way I am. And Ty is going to get her moment. And she started talking in Portuguese, because she is from Portugal. Not Portugal, but from Brazil. They talk Portuguese. The key of this is that she wants her hands in the woman in top team, Vargas. I forgot her name already, because I don't see her much and I forgot her name. But then this is where it gets interesting. Once we had Dan Lambert, as well as the Men of the Year, and that he's holding the interim title, because he's holding on to the interim title while Scorpio Sky's got the main TNT title, he makes it very clear. You guys are nothing. And the lady of our group is going to kick your ass, Conchi, only when she wants to. And when it comes to Sammy Guevara, fine. I got plenty of people you can get pinged around by. But he made it very clear that the top members of the Men of the Year are not going to touch you, because they don't need to. And the thing that got me, that he said, no matter what happens, you will never have these titles again. And he kisses his interim title on the lips. I believe I got a shot, I think. I don't know if I do. But if I do got that shot, you will see it in my face. And he makes it very clear that Sammy Guevara, he says, oh, you know, we are in your head. I got you in my head. Ty got you in the head. But now, because of what we done with that title, we got you in your mouth. And what you mean by that is that they've already... I know a lot of people angry with Sammy Guevara and Ty Conchi because Sammy left his fiancée to go be with Ty. It don't matter to me. Things like this happens in wrestling. If you guys don't understand how wrestlers act, many wrestlers don't stay with the same person permanently. It is an extremely hard life being a pro wrestler, no matter if you're a man or a woman. And many wrestlers, female and male, have been married and divorced multiple times. It happens. It just does. It's a hard life being a wrestler, and having a family with that, if they're not a part of the wrestling business, makes it even harder. So him going with Ty Conchi, I have no problem with it. They actually look like a good couple. Yeah, he looked like a good couple with his original fiancée, and looks good with Ty. And if they want to present their life in front of everyone and their sexuality in front of everybody, they're going to take advantage of it. It's going to sell more merch. It's going to make people think of them more. If that's the way you want to do it, as long as their relationship doesn't shatter, that's on them. That's their choice. Just like when it comes to a Tony Storm doing an OnlyFans. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on that. You guys tell me if you want me to talk about it. Because I'm not doing any Gump reports this week. It'll probably be next week. Unless somebody really wants me to talk about it, then maybe I might do it Friday. Because I got to go to a physical therapy appointment tomorrow. So I won't do it. But tell me if you want it. But they got the right to do what they want. If they're going to talk about their sexuality, if it sells them merch, it gives them more time on screen, and it doesn't destroy their relationship, so be it. Now, if it does, that's on them. They made their choice. But seeing that they used that their real life relationship and sexuality was used in a segment in your mouth. I think that's the name of this. They're in Dan Lambert's mouth. When he realized he threw the title down and rubbed his mouth, I think that was one of the best things I've seen in a while in wrestling. That they made an actual life thing, reality in pro wrestling, and did it seamlessly. Now, not everybody's going to like it. They're going to think it's nasty. They're going to think that this should not be done in pro wrestling. But guys, come on. You had Edge and Leah do a fake sex scene, but it was still implied that when you saw them on screen during a segment of Raw back in the mid-2000s, where Leah pulled down enough that you don't see her titties, but she's under a cover with her actual boyfriend at the time, who was Adam Copeland, who used to be the girlfriend of Matt Hardy, who got really heartbroken because of it, at least until he met Reba and married her. Not Rebel, but Reba, his actual wife now. It happens. They'll take a segment in real life and throw it on TV. So anyone says that AEW, like a Mr. Gettysburg, saying that this is woke, I'm sorry, my friend. If you do like WWE in the past, that is a segment from Leah and Adam, who is Edge. They just threw it on there and said something dirty. So you can't tell it it's woke, because it ain't, because that's WWE stuff. And I'm just saying, I hope you enjoy this Dynamite Delight. Please give me a comment below, and I have to think about it because I made my ass laugh. I'm sorry. That made my ass laugh. I hadn't heard something like that in a while. Peace.